let's get an update. Strider, what's the deal with the conditions?
Well, right now, with these warriors in the water, we have got a light onshore wind, which is actually, if you watch the waves fall, still looks offshore out there like we were talking about earlier, because the lip is falling so far and so fast that the wind is blowing because of that big deep water canyon out there pushing across. The element, the tide's dropping out. Large and in charge sets are coming through. Down the beach, looks like we've got a paddler looking at this thing. It's a big wall. Who do we got there, Dave?
Well, let's take a look. I believe it's Trevor Carlson. And Carlson, last year about this time, he hit the bottom pretty hard and really injured his back and his shoulder, but he's back on it, charging hard. The 27-year-old from the north shore of the island of Oahu does a great job right there. Up next, non-stop action down the beach. Here's your number 2 seed, former champion Makua Kai Rothman, thinking of his brothers in this, and he's in an ugly, frothy, foamy suicide pit, but he had to go for it.
Wow, that was commitment. That was drive on the rail, pedal to the metal all the way. He's still down. There he is. He's popped up. Wow, that was a lot of work. A lot. I mean, look. Ooh, another one on the head, man. I'm talking paying to play out here at Puerto Escondido. It is on and popping out the back. What do we got?
It looks like we got Angelo Lozano, the 29-year-old local boy here. Yes, a goofy footer. He won this event here in the Vans, actually QS event here. Not as large as this, but Lozano. Very interesting character, winning in 2008 the Vans PXM International, where we had a WSL event qualifying series in smaller surf, but he is out here with plenty of knowledge. The 29-year-old surfer, I think, just coming in from New York, where he was there watching.
He's reset. It looks like he's going to go back down there, maybe jump on a ski. I'm not exactly sure, but he's looking. He looks like he's looking for something to get back out into the lineup to go get another wave. Still plenty of time on the clock, Dave.
Amazing story for this young man. At 8 years old, Dad said, let's go out and do the paddle out at the Quicksilver in memory of Eddie Aikau. At 8 years old, he paddled out during the opening ceremonies. And at that time, he was having asthma problems. So a little bit of asthma, big waves, 8 years old. Can you imagine? And then the start.
From here, there's a light onshore breeze, but still super glassy.
It's like Santa Cruz. It's oil glass. This is what I surf at home, and it's perfect. It really is. I mean, we've got the swell kind of still holding in there. It's supposed to be even bigger this evening. So I would love to see this first round get done.
All right, Pete, thanks, buddy.
Oh, so good, huh?
Yeah, we just picked up the tail end. I believe that was the 20-year-old surfer that has had some fame out here, unfortunately, for a massive wave. Pedro Colado out of Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I believe the goofy footer there in black, finishing up his first wave. And yeah, sheet glass conditions. So we went from the offshores to sheet glass, and Strider's forecasting maybe a little bit of south pulse. But it doesn't matter when you have a wave with a face maybe 20 feet on it. When it breaks, it's going to be throwing like it looks like it's offshore.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool dynamic to actually, see what happens. But, I kind of think about it like this. You throw a bathtub full of water off the top of a building, it's going to flutter up around itself and make spray. And that's just the pure velocity of it coming down. There's going to be a heavy spot in the middle, and the fringes are going to flare up into the air. And that's what's happening out there right now. You're seeing everything. Here's a replay of Calado on this wave. Nice, beautiful entry early on the backhand, grabs the rail, pulls up into the bowl. Has a nice, beautiful spit on the back. Look at that execution, almost completely disappears from looking into it. So basically from the other side, he probably did disappear for a second there. Wow, that was a great ride to do that, because there's so much water, there's so much action. Mentally you're having to win through situations. It's crazy.
Trevor Carlson in a good position here for a left if he wants it, unless there's somebody deeper to the inside. The 27-year-old out of Sunset Beach on his kind of combo Sparrow, deeper in the lineup. And who do we have? Looks like Tom Robert Lowe out of West Ireland. Lowe with a spectacular wave. Bullimore ahead, Ireland. Be proud. This guy has gone for the throat, cannot make it out. He has paddled into Nazare, usually on a pink board, but it looked like a surfer in yellow, the goofy footer, Tom Lowe. Next up, can't get into it. how was that for positioning? Was that a little bit like Ireland and Moorhead?
That was nothing like anything except for Puerto Escondido. That man he's a madman, obviously, but he took off way back. I mean, he was so deep when he took off on that wave that it just looked like it was almost a Hail Mary situation, but he knew something that we didn't. He saw the wave backing off underneath him. He saw it opening up, and he found himself in a position to make that wave. He almost came out of that tube. That was incredible performance right there. I can't wait to see the replay.
Well, you're not paddling into a 4 or 5 foot wave where you're just trying to read down the line to see if you can make the section and pump for speed and throw the air. You're actually really committed to something that could totally change the dynamics, whether you use your inflation vest or not to save your life, or your leash breaks or your board breaks. You've really got to make a conscious situation. I thought Carlson had position, but take a look how deep he is. This is Tom Lowe.
Wow, what a water shot right there. I think that's Larry Haynes getting a shot out there at Pete Mel, but that wave right there, you saw him pump up into the bowl, finding the barrel. Look at that. In there, he's deep, he's driving, he's trying to find the entrance or the exit, and he just gets a little bit caught behind the foam ball. On a board like that, trying to ride the foam ball is so hard to do. Unfortunately, not able.
The event was in Mexico. We start off the season in Mexico. Yes, they are in Puerto Escondido, Oaxaca, Mexico. We are about 1,700 miles south of San Diego. We are a 2-hour hit in Tom Lowe. Rothman is in the second spot. Calado is in that third spot. Here we go. We got a paddler on the corner. And he starts off, and it looks like Pedro Colado out of Brazil. And this guy just charges so hard. He was part of the Wipeout of the Year nominations here at Puerto Escondido in the XXL Awards, and he makes it safely in and out. Next wave. This is going to be a bomb. Who's going to drop in on this? None other than Trevor Carlson. Here's the roofer, and goes for the barrel, looking for a section here. A couple of nice turns. Not over yet. And he is just playing with this wave, looking for a section. There's the barrel, and there. Closes out on some nice surfing. Beautiful read on that wave.
Wow. You know, it's interesting. You watch these guys ride these waves, it almost looks like they're in slow motion because the wave is so big. Everything is moving so fast.
And welcome viewers from CBS Sports Network. We're live in Mexico here. We're at Puerto Escondido. We are seeing some spectacular surf. David Stanfield along with Strider Wasilewski. Strider, we just saw a couple of great waves. In order to get a great wave, you have to pay your dues. We saw Pedro there with a wave earlier on. He has taken some beatings out there, but with the beatings come experience and knowing which waves to take.
Look at the size of this wave. He glides in, comes off the bottom, finds a big bully line down the corner, trying to see. He's got his feet are almost on that rail. He's just trying to engage that rail to keep himself driving down the line, trying to get back on the open face. Same shot in the background. You see that man right there gliding in. Trevor Carlson finds himself another beautiful wave himself. These waves are just so perfect. Look at the wall. Look at the ride. These guys are covering so much ground, pumping into the barrel right there, trying to find the exit. Average ride of, say, a 5.9, you're still going to get that doubled. So you're almost up into the 12 points. And then a backup of a 4. You're looking good. Out the back, what do we got?
Carlos Burle looking down the beach. That was Angelo Lozano, the goofy footer, the 20-year-old that has won out here not only the Mexican national title in 2000, I believe last year he won it, the National Open Surfing Champion, but he's won out here in a qualifying series event as well. He is deep in the lineup, and he is...
that a lot of athletes tap in to that element because blood flow is everything. Blood flow helps you heal. Blood flow, creates energy. It gives you a good center. So with that, great to see these guys, using that. Look at this wave out the back, Dave.
Well, here we go, and I believe this is Rothman now. Getting back on the horse, and unfortunately the horse just ran him over again. If that was Makua Kai, and he needed a 1.61, that could be enough to move him up.
Hey, that wave was giant. That could have been the biggest wave of the day. Did you That thing just mowed him down.
Oh, he's in a bad situation right now. I mean,
Wow.
just taking it on the head. Now the board will be pulling him inside, but not quick enough, not safe enough. And again, goes down and looking for his head to pop up. This next wave's a big, long wall, and trying to keep an eye on Rothman. He's okay,
Yeah, he's above water.
but here he goes, down under again. And just lots of white water. And like Waimea is famous, and this spot here too, a lot of foam. You can come up, but you still have a foot of foam you're breathing in. It's not water.
And that's a very key element in, you know, dealing with a lot of water. You want to go with the flow as much as possible. You're going to end up further in.
Let's take a look. How can you win a contest or advance by just going straight? Well, catching one of the biggest waves?
That wave was giant. He's not even at the bottom yet. Right there, boom, he just got to the bottom. That wave had like two faces on it. It had a big bowl at the top, and then it had a big ramp at the bottom. So he caught into it, you know, obviously needing a score. That thing was giant. And you know, when you get in that situation, you get to the bottom, or you think you're at the bottom. He probably thought he was at the bottom there, and then he had another ramp to get down. It gave him just enough speed to get out in front of it, and that's exactly why he was rewarded. I commented on it a minute ago. You know, I thought he was going to get a much higher score than he needed. But look at these waves coming in. This is giant, Dave.
Look at this right here, the spectacular left. It is Carlos Burle, I believe, our oldest competitor out of Brazil, 48 years young, if that is Carlos. And look at the pit he's in. Massive barrel. And it drops out, sucks out. He's on the bottom right now, being pinned down. But what amazing skill that he had to get into that position. Carlos Burle, our first Big Wave Tour World Champion, delivers at 48 years young heavy.
That was amazing. That was just incredible work right there. Great performance and technical surfing from a man that's got so much under his belt, so much experience and time spent to catch that wave on the corner. He had to fall into it, thread the line, find the open face. And look at this right here. This is a giant wave. Oh my goodness, Angelo Lozano down the beach on a replay, grabbing that. That was a split peak, so he was on the other side of that wave, that this one right here of Carlos Burle. So both of them on the backhand. Carlos Burle coming off the bottom, finding the bowl up high, almost a soul arch, grabs the rail, commits to the inside corner, leveling off, and then takes the bailout on the inside as it slams shut. Come on, guys. Burle, he's pulled his life vest, so he has the flotation. He threw a shaka. He said he's good. He's going to wait till he can get in a safe zone to get picked up and, you know, regain composure, get back on the ski, get back out there. Both of those guys on the backhand, both of them having similar rides, finding the face, finding the rail, having to execute the balance.
Wave Tour, the Southern Hemi season opens up with a bomb here. So we're looking at the forecast real quick. The next 10 days they show at least minimum 10-foot surf here.
Well, that means 20 foot on the face out here. You know, with the buoy readings that large. But what I wanted to get to was, you know, the conditions. The beach actually tilts towards the west, and you can see the coastline. And you saw that big channel there where the boats were in the harbor. So there's a really deep trench out there, and if you really get a good look and stop that Google Earth map, you can really understand how the mechanics of it work out here, and you can see.
Somebody is on the left, but the right, who's going to be fighting for it? 1, 2, 3, take the option out. No, it looks like, is this Rothman again? Trying to take an ID on this, and it is Makua Rothman pulling in. This is why he won the world title a year ago. And I'll tell you, his first wave, he was on the beach and he didn't know if he was going to get back out. Second wave, he straightens out, takes the lead. Third wave, he goes for the throat and gets a beautiful right. Makuakai Rothman, incredible. Next up, this looks like Carlos. No, yes, Carlos Burle. Is that Carlos? Well, and take a look. Yeah, Carlos Burle gets on it as well. So you've got a couple of world champions back-to-back on the rights. Where are the lefts out there? Lozano thinks he sees the left. He's to the far south end. You know, you just can't get to the waves really easy. It's not like your little reef break where you can kind of sit on the pocket. You've got to really paddle it and really read the lineup well.
Let's talk about the mental capacity from Makua Kai Rothman right now, just really quick. We saw him on the beach earlier in this heat. Right after his first wave, he got pounded, goes to the beach, collects himself, has to re-engage, get back on the horse, and go back out. Look at this wave, look at the size of that thing. Free falling out of the sky, finally gets to the bottom right there. Bottom turns up into the bowl, finds the rail. He's in the bowl, just driving. That board just looks sweet, like a hot knife through butter. Gives himself a little clap. Great execution right there. And behind that one, Carlos Burle falls out of the sky. A little foam on the face from the last wave, which was Makua Kai's wave. And I think, you know, this wave, a great wave, executed well. But let me tell you, Makua Kai's wave takes the cake right there. That was a radical drop followed by a huge bottom turn up into the bowl to hold the rail. The thing just cut through the wall, under the curtain.
Well, let me tell you.
Unbelievable.
Well, on that massive wave where he dropped in, took a spectacular drop and straightened out and survived that whole thing, got a 7.80. Can you imagine what he's going to get on this as well?
Well, he is going to get a huge score, I believe. It was just such a well-executed ride, from the commitment on the drop, falling in to the bowl, finding just a crazy, crazy bowl section, coming out on the end, giving himself a clap. Look at that total, Dave.
Well, looking at the scores, one judge, I believe, gives a 10, but a 9.5, a couple of 9.5s in there, yes. Rothman is closing in on that perfect 30.2 wave total, and that is quite spectacular, seeing how he is taking gas. He got a wave that he wasn't on the left or the right and just dropped in. That was quite spectacular. Everything
right
is
here,
changing.
He's dropping and he's had to commit. He falls over the ledge, almost goes down, catches the rail, re-engages right there. His board's trying to get away from him. He's muscling up into the bowl. He high lines under the curtain, still pedal to the metal, shoulders over that rail, pushing down hard to make it through. Flies out onto the shoulder, feels like he's made it, gives himself the clap, and understands that that was almost a perfect ride.
Strider, let's put this in perspective. These heats were going to be sometimes heats in the first round are 45 minutes, then maybe an hour. That we made it 75-minute heats, the officials did. How difficult is it to find? We do have another set coming through, and again, keep an eye on our local, Lozano. And Lowe's down there as well. Lowe's a goofy footer, Lozano's a goofy footer, and Pedro. So who's going to be on this one? Lozano's been waiting a long time, and here he is, the surfer, the 29-year-old Puerto Escondido specialist who does it in the QS and in big waves. Beautiful positioning, great rail work, times the inside, and massive, massive wave to close out on him. Now comes our surfer out of, looked like it was Lowe for a second, but it could be Pedro Colado. Calado is just an animal, and here he is again, a big section. A lot of foam on. I can't believe he made it that far. It closes out, but you know what? The judges have to be impressed in that last section for him. Carlos Burle, are you kidding me? He's back in the lineup again, trying to hold on to second spot. The youngster Burle checks in at 48 years of age, our very first Big Wave Tour champion, jumps on that one as well. Meanwhile, it's a five-man heat. Trevor Carlson in the lineup and waiting patiently. And take a look at this. Our surfer, Lozano, is now going to take some gas. The rest of these guys on the inside are really getting hit. That's Carlos Burle, getting as much oxygen as he can in his lungs. Boy, not an easy thing.
Yeah, you know what? Those guys, warriors. We saw Burle get pounded after his wave. Calado, how was that tube time? And Lozano on a gigantic wave, came off the bottom, hold the rail down the line, all the way to the inside. He was searching for the ski to probably try and get back out there. He's still got time. Look at this replay right here. And there he is, a little bit of a pull up the face from the riptide, comes off the bottom, holds the wall, beautiful, huge, gorgeous left-hander. A lot of water on the face there, some foam, having to negotiate, gets through that section. What a wave. Really well executed, rides out in front of it. Behind him, Calado on a gigantic left-hander. Behind him, another one, pulls up into the bowl. Foamy just frothed out on that inside rail, holding the rail all the way through to the end. Almost comes out, driving through the barrel for probably 3 to 4 seconds on a 10-foot board. No easy task, let me tell you. Out of control. And then Burle gets one off the other side, down the line a little more. The third wave of the set. Goes up high, you see his board flying out there. He got blasted from behind, and he wants back out. Look, he knows there's 11 minutes. He wants to go back out and get another one, as well as the other athletes, Lozano and Calado, probably trying to get back out there too, because they know time's winding down.
Let's take a look and keep an eye on Trevor Carlson. He is wearing the white singlet, the 27-year-old off on the corner here. He needs a 6.24. He opened up strong. Here comes the wave. It's got some color to it, the rain. He's paddling at an angle. There he goes with the stripe at the front of his board. No problem. The 27-year-old sets his line off the bottom and goes for the pit. There it is, a high line. Can he push out of it? Well, pretty thick lip and pretty valiant attempt.
It was, yeah, you know, that position right there, to fall right there, the way the wave hiccuped from the wave before, a little shock wave. So the wave before lands, creates foam, and then pushes back out towards the ocean. You know, out towards the horizon, and that creates a little lip line coming at you. It hiccuped and took him down, and when that happens, the compression, as it kind of hiccups and then recollapses on you, can really, you know, catch you off guard, bust an eardrum, you know, even tweak out your knee or your leg. So that was pretty technical right there. You see him with the tail of his board out of the water, so the leash isn't dragging, so the board's not dragging. That is key right there. Getting back on the ski like that is not easy. Let me tell you, there was a lot going on in that image for him to know to grab his board from the leash, get that fin and the board out of the water with the leash, and so it's just dangling off the nose so that there's no catch.
Hurts on a big board, so you're ready to go out. In fact, the board was so big it barely fit in the plane. But let's take a look at what's happened so far. The drama started fast and furious with Trevor Carlson.
That's right, nice, beautiful wall carve right there, staying high. But then behind him, Makua Kai Rothman, pedal to the metal on a beautiful wall. This is the wave that took him out. Huge barrel, that thing, so much water froth. And in the lip, you see all that sand? That adds weight. Boy, he got pounded. Then behind him, Angelo Lozano grabs the rail, finds the wall, ducks out right before the thing comes down and smashes him. And Calado finds himself some open face, grabs the rail off the bottom right there, pulls up into the bowl, gets a little cover up, and then gets spit through the corner. Nice, beautifully executed wave right there. Action-packed heat, a lot of ride. This is Tom Lowe on a gigantic rolling from the outside corner. Double pump into the barrel. Looked like he was too deep, then it looked like he was gonna make it. Back towards the section, can't quite ride over that foam ball right there. Took him down. Doesn't make the exit, but what a ride. And then Calado, again, on the backhand. Really giant, beautiful wall. Stays on the rail. Gets a little pump out at the end here. Nice, clean exit over the corner. Decides to paddle back out. Trevor Carlson backs it up. This man, a lot of energy, a lot of knowledge. Finding the wall, looking relaxed, but down the line like you talked about when you were calling it live. Saw something. Knew he had to get down the line because this thing was coming in. Big barrel. Pulls it up high. Can't find the exit, goes down, and then on the biggest wave that we've seen so far, that thing doubled up out the back. Makua Kai Rothman mowed down. Behind him, Carlos Burle finding it out of the sky, drops in, comes off the bottom, grabs up into the bowl, loves it. Almost a soul arch, grabbing the rail. Look at this, down the line execution, in the barrel, jumps off, boom! It is so technical to do all that work. And Lozano, this man, local boy, having a blast out here. Beautiful, big, barreling conditions. Lozano, local boy, then Makua Kai Rothman. This heat had so many waves. This is the best wave of the event so far. Big bowl, beautiful bottom turn, holds the rail, gets out on the open face, gives himself the clap. That's a good little cute claim right there from Makua Kai Rothman. Look at this, Lozano, still not done, wants more off the bottom. In an hour and 15 minutes, he's on to his third wave. Big, beautiful wall, face down. Look at this little bit of a a chandelier trying to take him out. Nothing would even barely touched him. It would have just squished him. Behind him, Calado on a monster again. So many waves just pulsing through out here at Puerto Escondido. The Brazilian, look at his tube ride. Watch the technical aspect. Look at that front rail pushing apart the water just all the way down the line, coming through, and live action right there. Calado once again.
Unbelievable recap. I've never seen such huge, crazy back-to-back waves, and you compress, what, 65 minutes into that span, and we have seen some heroics. And again, you're looking at a spot where it's very difficult to get out, really committed to drop in, and the size of this surf, you usually see very few waves ridden because they're selecting. These guys are going after everything that moves out there. Your leaders, Makua Kai, Rothman, who got out of the water with over 10 minutes remaining. And we take a look at Calado. What an animal. His 5th time ever in Puerto Escondido. He looks like a local. He was nominated for a paddle award at Jaws last year as well. His paddling skills are pretty amazing. We have to flash back years ago. There's a corner pocket. Is anybody going to be on this one? And Lozano wants a wave real quick, and who's going to be? It's going to be, are you kidding me? Yeah, it's Carlson. Jumps on that, I believe. It is Trevor Carlson on this wave, right? And Trevor jumps on it. I know Lozano's looking for the massive wave. The local boy needs a 7.43. But Trevor Carlson needs an 8.72, and that might be his last shot. Tag Heuer clock says 3 minutes, 4 seconds remaining. Now the next 2 waves kind of lined up. The third wave looks like it's got an option. Then maybe a right might come through. It is so unique here. You just don't. The 6 surfers in the lineup, actually only 5 right now. Top 3 advance through. We're coming to a close. 54 seconds remaining on the clock. Personal watercraft, our lifeguards, and our safety team, really, they must be applauded for what they've done already today in the safety aspect and helping this event. Here we go. We're going to count this down now. Just 35 seconds remaining. And with the swell interval being in that 16, maybe 15 to 16, 17 second range, not a lot of options. It's one more little mini right if anybody wants to get a shore boat in and try to get a shot at it. 20 seconds on the clock. No movement. And it looks like it's going to be a done deal. Without the dramatics, every heat, we've seen some drama. Heat number 1, it was Greg Longshow. The Longshow was spectacular. In heat number 2, it was a surfer out of New York, Will Scuden. And now we've completed heat number 3, and it's Makua Kai Rothman. Rothman does some impossible surfing, survives a couple of beatings, and comes back to deliver the punch and knocks out everybody else. Coming in that second spot, the youngster out of Brazil.